In the very beginning of the Empire, those that served the Emperor had to learn of Vader, his position, and to fear him. Vader, as you would imagine, had his own preferred method.
Don't get too proud of this technological terror you've constructed.
So in Revenge of the Sith, 19 years before the Battle of Yavin, we see the Empire rise from the ashes of the Republic. Most of the Jedi are gone, and it is the Sith's turn to rule. Anakin, now Vader, having fallen to the dark side and taken care of some business for his new master, fights and loses against Obi-Wan. He is recovered by Palpatine, who has him patched back up and put in a suit. From there, Vader goes about serving his master, hunting down the surviving Jedi, assuring others fall in line to the new rule, and in general, keeping peace in the galaxy. But how did the Empire learn of Vader? How did they know that Vader was Palpatine's right-hand man? Well, in the beginning, people didn't, and that caused some problems for Vader. Vader, upon waking up in his suit and after learning about Padme's death, went right to work claiming his first Sith lightsaber and trying to extinguish the rest of the Jedi. However, at that point, only a few knew he was Palpatine's apprentice. The first issue this caused was with the Inquisitors. Jedi and Force users fall into the dark side that now hunt Jedi. The Grand Inquisitor fought with Vader, not knowing he was Palpatine's apprentice, until Palpatine showed up to clarify who he was. In all fairness, Vader also didn't know the Inquisitors were working for Palpatine. Palpatine, he schemed a lot. He did a lot of stuff, and he was also testing Vader and his Grand Inquisitor when those two met and started fighting each other. So, you know, Palpatine. But after the Grand Inquisitor learned of Vader and Vader actually started working with the program to hunt down Jedi, that was one thing taken care of. Okay, now the Inquisitors knew of Vader, Vader knew of the Inquisitors, cool, whatever. Actually, Vader begins to train some of them, and they lose a lot of limbs. He took a note from Obi-Wan's playbook. But just because the Inquisitors knew about Vader and his rank doesn't mean others did. In fact, Imperial saw this strange man just appear one day by Palpatine's side and be given control of the program. This caused some anger among the officers, but I'll get back to that in a bit, because the fight with the Inquisitors and him taking them over isn't how people learned of his place of power. A few things led to this. At first, Stormtroopers not knowing who he was didn't really matter. It even let Vader have a little fun, like when Vader went to get his first Sith lightsaber and troopers thought he was a Jedi and the enemy, and Vader got to slice and dice them. However, Stormtroopers not knowing his position in the Empire became a problem. It became painfully clear there were disadvantages to people not knowing Vader's rank when Jocasta Nu, the Jedi librarian from the prequels, broke into the old Jedi temple to recover information to restart the Jedi Order. Vader and the old librarian Jedi actually fought, but because Vader was given orders by Palpatine not to kill her, he was very gentle with her, or as gentle as the Sith Lord can be. But just in case you're going, wow, that's really weird, that old librarian fought Vader and lived? It was because Vader was given orders not to just fucking kill her. Sorry, it's not funny. Murdering old librarians is not funny. However, as you can imagine, seeing two people fighting with lightsabers and using the Force in the heart of the Empire, it drew some attention of Stormtroopers, and soon they thought, oh, these people are both Jedi, and we were told to massacre the Jedi, so we need to take those two out. So understandably soon, Stormtroopers were brought into the fray. Completely unaware that Vader serves the Empire and isn't a Jedi. Commander Fox, the asshole that killed Fives during the Clone Wars, and one of the few Stormtroopers who is aware of Vader's position in the Empire, shows up and orders the men to stop firing on Vader, claiming he's one of us. Vader, super pissed to be fired on by his own men, asks Fox why he didn't give his men a description of him. Fox clumsily tries to explain he didn't anticipate a situation like this happening, but Vader just snaps his neck, finding the current situation unacceptable. Even the rest of the Stormtroopers don't know that Vader was once a Jedi, because when Jocasta reveals that, because she knew through information she got, oh, this was Anakin, so when she says that aloud, shocking the Stormtroopers around Vader, Vader of course has to execute them because he wants to keep that hush-hush. So after that, it became very clear to Vader, okay, some Stormtroopers are becoming more aware of me, but everyone in the Empire needs to know who I am so we don't have more friendly fire situations. So the next situation that Vader had to take care of, because he wasn't well known within the Empire and his position with the Emperor, were the Imperial officers, which, from their point of view, think about this. You're super loyal to Palpatine, you're serving him, you're doing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden this weird guy in this black armor is bossing you around, force choking one or two of you, and being given control of the Inquisitor program? Okay, who are you? We didn't see you before any of this. Why are you all of a sudden in charge? Who are you? So some Imperial officers began to think, okay, if we get rid of this guy in the black suit, some order can be brought back, essentially. They could be more in control of the situation. To get rid of Vader, at least 2 Imperial officers worked to sabotage the relationship between the master and apprentice. They figured setting up a mercenary contract that appeared to come from the Emperor's office would divide the men and result in Vader's dismissal. That did not work because Vader and Palpatine were just such good buddies. No, it didn't work because Vader, instead of playing around, just went right to Palpatine and went, hey, this kill contract came from you. What the fuck? And then they figured out shenanigans were going on. See, this is what happens when instead of doing things behind people's back, you just have a conversation with them. Clears tons of things up, like whether your friend tried to kill you or not. Not that Palpatine and Vader are friends. Because of this, Vader decided that it was time for the Empire to know about him, stating the Imperial officers know he has strength, but they need to know he has Palpatine's power as well. Palpatine was a bit iffy on this course of action, questioning the man and asking if he was certain, and when Vader affirmed he was, Palpatine told him he could hurt or kill anyone but Tarkin, as he required the man. So to make them very aware of Vader in a display they wouldn't soon forget, Palpatine gathered his Imperial officers and enlightened them on the hierarchy, introducing his apprentice as Lord Vader, and informing them he speaks with Palpatine's voice, and that a command from Lord Vader is a command from the Emperor. Palpatine demanded they pass this information on to their men so that everyone understood Lord Vader's position. Vader wasn't done though. He just didn't want them to know about his power and position. He wanted them to know if there's any insubordination or, assassination attempts, this is what's going to happen. Also, of course, Vader didn't want to pass up the chance to force choke some bitches. So to let them know what was what, Vader informed the officers of the assassination attempts and that evidence suggested a conspiracy within the Imperial officer corps. Saying though he has his suspicions which officers it was, it does not matter. I will always survive. Every time, I will survive, which is pretty badass. He then chokes the shit out of 5 random officers he picked and kills them as an example. From there, Vader's rank began to spread throughout the Empire, and people became more and more aware of him and feared him. Though, of course, he wasn't known throughout all of the Empire and the galaxy. That was a slow build-up. So there you go. That's how most of the Empire became aware of Vader's position and why he had to do so.
Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars videos.